Menendez Mania. Today is Friday, October 25th, 2024, and I woke up today thinking about the Menendez brothers. End of week wrap up here on The Warriors. First of all, thank you for subscribing to our videos, following along, becoming a member, and also just sharing our information because it is so critical and crucial. Obviously, we have a sex trafficking, sexual exploitation crisis going on in America, and it's not stopping. So what are we going to do? We're going to come together. We're going to share facts, realities, take actions, educate you. Thank you to everybody out there. You're all warriors. Now let's talk about this. A couple of things really bothering me. Menendez Brothers. We are awaiting today when the LADA, Gascón, George Gascón, will be going to the court and putting in the paperwork for resentencing for these two brothers. You know, I did a video on this last night, but then I was thinking about it all night. I'm very disturbed about a couple of things. Yes, because people do ask me, do I believe? Remember, I have no proof. I only have my thoughts. Indicators. If they were indeed sexually abused at home, I do believe they were because of evidence, because of things like Lyle writing to his cousin this was happening, revealing to a roommate in college, different things, right? We're always based on evidence, facts, and their behaviors. I do believe that they should be resentenced. Obviously, they were, according to California law, they were 19 and 21 when they were sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. But if you are 26 and under, they're going to be resentenced and they will be eligible right now for parole, time served. But let's focus on the story. Here's one thing that keeps sticking out in my mind that bothers me. That, I'm in no way endorsing their actions. I do believe they should be resentenced and released, but perhaps watched a little bit or halfway house or something. You can't be in prison for that many years committing this kind of violent crime. No matter how much redemption the DA said, good behavior, how can you go from that into this world that Americans can't even handle, that have not been in prison? So I think there needs to be some kind of clear-cut reintegration process there. I know one of them is married. He has a wife in Las Vegas. He would be released to her and her house. That's where he would go live. But it's stuck in my head all night. Their actual act of what they did to their parents. We know people snap. Kids especially, right? We always hear the same old thing, under 26, the brain's not fully developed. Young people make rash decisions. They're not responsible for consequences, so we know all that. But the fact that, and I'm careful here with algorithms on the YouTube, and I admit that, so I don't say certain words, but I think you can read between the lines, that they committed this violent, vicious act against their parents, and then they went out to their car to get some more ammunition. That's bothering me a lot. It's one thing to snap and commit a heinous act, but to the extent they did that, but they lost their minds. But are they insane? By all accounts, medical professionals don't call them that. Then again, I do believe they should be resentenced and released. And again, because we look at sexual abuse in the home very differently in 2024 than we ever looked at it back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And now we're not even looking at male sexual abuse. The largest growing demo for sex trafficking in the United States right now is boys. Boys. I'm not even talking men. I'm not even talking in their 20s. I'm talking boys and teens. So we better, if this case can open up that dialogue, that conversation, and we have some concrete takeaways, we have media covering it appropriately, it's a good thing. Perhaps they can be the Menendez brothers trailblazers in this movement. I kid you not. This is how I'm thinking about it all night since I did my prior video, to get the word out. Can they be role models for this? Because I understand in prison, they led groups where men were abused in the home and were abused on the outside. So this could be a very good, for lack of a better word, kind of a business model. But we got to talk about the boys. We have to talk about the young men. We have to talk about, forget the embarrassment. We're way beyond that in the United States. Why are these things happening? Why are they allowed to happen? Why are they escalating? And if we, with education, if we, with raising awareness, get the information out there and provide resources, that's what it's all about. We can't really rely on the government. We give them every chance. We give big tech. Every platform is full of CSAM, child sexual abuse material. We give them every chance to correct it, to work with them, to make it better. Just not happening. So it's up to us to become warriors. But this week I'm also very disturbed about, we never really had follow-up on Les Wexner. Do you remember him? He was part of the gang with the criminal whose name begins with the 5th letter of the alphabet. And he was very instrumental in financing and being supportive of, in my opinion, this operation. Not a peep out of him. How do these people, like a Dirty Diddy, a Mike Jeffries from Abercrombie and Fitch, how do they get away with all of this? They have enablers, accomplices. They're not doing all this on their own. It's so complicit, and we know all this, so what are we going to do about it? It sounds very elementary, what I'm about to tell you. You need to protect children. I don't care how busy and overwhelmed one is. You need to educate them. There are bad people out there, age appropriate, of course, but bad people out there. They want to take advantage of you. They want to get money from you. They are not your friends. We got to tell the kids. We got to be open and honest. You have to do everything in your power. Follow the warriors. Follow an organization in your neighborhood, in your community. That is our hashtag, community creates change. It's the only way we're fighting against all this exploitation. Do whatever you can do. You can donate $1. And if you can't donate $1, it's fine, because you can share the warriors. You can share another organization. We're just asking you to step up. We're asking you, when we put out, take actions to sign on for bipartisan legislation, just add your name. That doesn't cost any money. Lots of things don't cost any money. This is not about the money. Yes, money helps. We at the Warriors support survivors and their needs and the communities as a whole. You're not going to see pictures and things like that all over Facebook plastered. Look how great we are and all that. We don't do that. That's private stuff. Vulnerable people in need. We don't embarrass people at all, ever. We do listen to survivors. We learn from survivors. I've never been trafficked. I can't imagine. And yet this predation, really, when I got started, I couldn't believe people do this. Familial trafficking. Over 64% of cases documented in New York are by somebody the child knows. I can't believe this all occurs, and it's escalating. I can't believe in this election cycle, pounding away every day should be talk about open borders. Yes, I understand President Trump is talking about it. But what about the other side? And I'm trying not to be political here, but how can you not, right? When we have reports of, at least I'm getting at the Warriors with law enforcement we work with, over 500,000 unaccompanied minors. Yes, illegal entry into this country, but unaccompanied minors, poof, gone. People should be screaming from the highest rooftops how that affects our children. They're watching. All of our kids are watching all of this. Kids ask me a lot of questions. The best I can do is reassure them they're safe, they're fine, they're loved. This is tough stuff. Where are all those kids? In addition, we've got the cartels. They got a smooth operation going on. You know this. Walking hand in hand with our U.S. government. Come on, let's go. Go this way. A bus this way. A train. Oh, you want a flight? Go that way. I witnessed it firsthand. I was in California flying back. And usually my airline, very organized when you're lining up to get on the plane. And all of a sudden there was a rush of young men with backpacks on that rushed the lines. And the employees, who are usually very nice, allowed it. And these people were just pushing the people lined up to get on, pushing physically. It was allowed. Why are we allowing this in the United States? What's wrong with everybody? This election is vote for what will keep children and families safe, because you know there is a war on for children. So we've got the Les Wexner related to the guy by doing business in association with the guy with the fifth letter. Figure that out, count it out, and you'll know. Who by all accounts is sitting in his manse in Ohio. Remember him? Victoria's Secret, Limited Brands. Oh, they had a great big 2-floor boutique here on Madison Avenue in New York City where I live. Big glass front. It was all the heyday, the rage in the 80s and 90s. Okay, this guy never was held accountable. Many other people that worked with that guy. We got the Mike Jeffries, Abercrombie & Fitch, 80 years old, now arrested, out on bail with his 2 associates. Interesting case with the male models. So far I'm hearing all 18 plus, so considered adults. Why was that allowed to go on for decades? We've got, as I mentioned, we have the cartels allowed to just be the biggest sex trafficking operation complicit with our U.S. government the world has ever seen, and that's exactly what it is. Media doesn't like me saying this. They don't have me on. I have to create my own media because they don't want to hear the truth. This is the truth. Why is this allowed? I go to Washington. These are bipartisan issues. I bring this up and I am met with blank stares. Again, that means it's up to us in our own home, our community, our family unit to take action. Dirty Diddy. Where will this go? Because I have survivors, victims, not of Diddy, just overall contacting me. Will we see justice? They're hanging on this case. Like, yes. Women now who were girls at the time who came all through the rap music scene, and it was just part of the business. You're going to be a stylist, you're going to be a makeup artist, a hairstylist, you're going to travel with us. But it was really a cover for a sex trafficking operation. They want to know now, decades later, will there be accountability? Will there be accountability? We're hearing horrible things about this pink cocaine. Look it up. Designer drug, ketamine, ecstasy, mixed together with food dye that tastes like strawberry and inserted into drinks and other bodily places to render somebody incapable. And you can figure out the rest. This is horror. This should be the number one thing everybody is talking about. So we have Menendez Mania, I'm calling it today. I'm thinking a lot on this. We at the Warriors always want to give you resources and takeaways and positive information. I don't want anybody to ever lose hope. There's a lot of great things happening. I'll leave you with, our Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, KOSA, that we talk about all the time on the Warriors. Bipartisan. Sponsored by Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee and also Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. Why we can't get this? 91 co-sponsors, unheard of, right? In Washington. Can't get this to the final finish line. It does nothing to steal your privacy. It is simply asking, after many amendments to the bill, to the legislation, everything we were asked to do, and we did, simply asking big tech to take more responsibility, more guardrails, more moderators. We know, we work with tech people. They do have the technology. They tell me this. I don't know if they say it in public. They tell me. The technology to take down these images, to scout out this predation against minors. We have to figure out something with age verification. Why can a 12-year-old go on to OnlyFans? I'm sorry, but we have to figure something out. There is technology for that. I'm not sure I really agree with it. You're giving government IDs, you're uploading. We don't want all that stuff. It's got to be simpler, right? Remember, the predators are always 10 steps ahead of you and me and law enforcement. We cannot allow this to go on. So I'm thinking, let's just take the Menendez brothers. The other part sticking with me is this LADA. George Gascón, failing miserably, up for re-election, stepping up now after the Netflix documentary series on the Menendez brothers. And there's been some other things, and there's been books, and they've done interviews from the prison. Stepping up now, jumping on the bandwagon, like a look at me. He could have actually just done something through his office. We don't have to go through all these steps. Governor Gavin Newsom could have done something. He didn't do anything. What's it really all about, right? But should they be resentenced, released because of time served? They were, this event occurred in 1989, and they were sentenced to life in prison, no chance of parole in 1996, right? So going on 30 years, the whole story has been 35 years or so. If we can use them to bring male awareness to all of these abuse issues, and they could be role models for that, sign me up. I'm all for it. But I don't want to see them on Dancing with the Stars. I don't want to see them on the Today Show. I don't want to see them being paraded around, like trophies that everybody will use for their 2 minutes of fame and then thrown aside. I'm sure the what shall we call them? The certain ones are all circling the wagon now, looking to do things like that. That's the society we live in, but not on our Warriors Watch. So join us. Remember to always follow lynswarriors.org, our website. Remember to always love, hug, kiss your children, and take care of each other. These are the important things. Remember to vote. We've got early voting begins here in New York City tomorrow. We'll be voting. And remember our hashtag, Community Creates Change. You're in charge. You be the leader. You be the educator. You take your children on. You join that school board. You become a class parent. You ask what the curriculum is. You talk to your children. That is the number one thing. If we have one thing to tell you, talk to your children open and honestly. Between Diddy, Border, now we've got Mike Jeffries from Abercrombie and Fitch. We've got the Menendez brothers. The kids are seeing all this. They're seeing things on their devices, right? Talk to them. Again, age appropriately. You don't have to give them too much information, especially our teens, our vulnerable teens. Talk to them and let us be the leaders. It's a new world, baby. It's a new country. Step up to the plate. Community creates change. Each and every day, wake up and go out and be a warrior.